Brandon Terwey. I'm a high school graduate of the class of 2021, and I'm now working as an EMT in San Mateo County.
How did you get to be an EMT?
Well, I graduated high school and I went to college for engineering, but I realized I didn't like it as much, and I always wanted to do something in first responding and didn't know where to start. So being an EMT is kind of like an entry-level position, and I just did a program up in Oakland over the summer, and I stuck with it since then, and I really liked it.
Is there anything you wish you knew before you started?
Yes, but it wouldn't change what I would be doing now. For example, if you are going to work night shifts, you have to know that your diet might get a little bit screwed up, as well as your sleep schedule. A lot of the only shifts available are either 12 or 24 hours, and you stack them. So a lot of the full-timers will work 24 hours on, 24 hours off, 24 hours on. If you work part-time, you can just fill 3 12-hour shifts per month and pick up anything else after that is considered mandate pay, so time and a half, and that's how you make your money. Your hourly rate is actually pretty bad, but you'll start to build up more hours, and there's plenty of opportunities for overtime. So mandate pay is 1.5 pay, and that happens for me after 3 shifts. I get overtime once I fill 40 hours a week, and that stacks on top of mandate, so that's 2 times pay, and then you get 2.5 if you are also on holiday pay. Another thing is you're not running lights and sirens every single call. You're not driving in the opposite lane of traffic every single call. You're not having your favorite procedures done every call. It's a lot more majority time of boring work, and you get those super fun calls, I guess on a rarer basis, but there's no regular schedule. Everything gets mixed up a little bit, and the day-to-day changes all the time.
So that really goes well into our next question. What does an average day as an EMT look like?
Like I said, it varies a lot, but usually I will clock in and I'll set up the ambulance and make sure everything's all ready to go, and whatever paramedic or EMT partner I'm with for the day, I'll make sure that they have it the way that they like it set up. If I haven't worked with them before, I'll do an introduction and we kind of get to know each other on whatever time we have before we get that first call of the day. Depending on the day, depending on the weather, depending on if you work day shift versus night shift or both, it can change from being, we call it level 0, when there's 0 ambulances available to take a 911 call. And that's like worst case scenario. Well, I guess we've had negative levels before, I guess. Like there's literally calls in the 911 system where you can't go pick it up because everyone's busy. But that doesn't happen every day. A lot of the time you will just move across the county to what we call different posts. Some of the posts are near different hospitals, but we correlate them with the fire stations usually. So there's a number to every post. We have everything from SF General Hospital down to Stanford, our 2 trauma centers. And a lot of the time you transport to whatever hospital you're closest to, but you spend a lot of time just sitting at posts. You can go get food, you can go do anything really, as long as when that radio tone goes off, you're there and you're ready to go. Another thing is, as the EMT, a lot of the patient care isn't delegated by me. Usually on all of those 911 calls, the paramedic is the one in the back who texts the call. There's a lot of advanced procedures in between EMTs and paramedics. EMTs is only a certain, I did my program in 5 weeks. Paramedic school is usually like 1.5 years if you get the associate's degree. I can't interpret EKGs, I can't start IVs, I can't do needle decompression, I can't intubate people. But I am the driver of that ambulance, and there's other stuff that I do to help the paramedic in the back and make sure that all of the patient care can be as best as it can be. But I really like my job, and one day I hope maybe to step up to that paramedic role.
What are your favorite and least favorite parts of the job?
If you can tell by the way I talk about it, I really like driving. It is super fun to run lights and sirens. People pull out of your way, ideally. You get to drive in the opposing lanes of traffic when it's safe. I also really like just the working with other first responders and being a part of something. I think it's super cool. I think I have a lot to learn, and it's really fun when people present those opportunities for me. My least favorite part about work is you are never guaranteed a lunch or any sleep, especially me. When I started out, I worked a lot of night shifts, and it was easy for me to fill my hours because I worked part-time a lot, and I only have to fill a certain amount of hours per month. And everything it's a lot easier to make more money if you work part-time and you just get to pick up all those shifts. But yeah, I miss lunches probably 80%, 90% of my shifts. And yeah, I get an extra hour of paid because of it, but it's still, I'd rather have the.
Do you plan on staying as an EMT, or does it lead into other things?
Yeah, you can definitely do a lot with it. I mean, the next step up from EMT is being a paramedic, or at least a transport paramedic, where, I mean, it's the people who I work alongside with in the back of the ambulance. You work for a private 911 company and you respond to 911 calls, but you're considered a transport medic because the other specialties are fire, flight, and travel, or international medicine. So fire medics, there's usually a medic at each firehouse on duty all the time. One, it'll either ride on the engine, or some firehouses will have their own fire ambulance. And I know for sure that Woodside and San Mateo and San Francisco have a couple of those. And we actually, the company that I work for is the one that provides the ambulances to the firehouses. So we have a partnership between them, and I see them all the time back at our base, and we stock them and everything, and we work alongside them. We also work alongside the flight paramedics. We do transports with them all the time, and when there's a call that's too rural, usually the protocol is if it's going to be longer than 30 minutes to a transport or 45 minutes, we call a helicopter if it's that bad. And the last thing is travel medicine. We have a lot of travel medics who get these huge contracts that come through. There's a 2-week on, 2-week off sort of system that they have going where, I mean, I guess I can throw it around, but the last travel medic I talked to said he made about $140,000 in 6 or 7 months just by doing that kind of cycle, by picking up contracts. You move all across the country. You can do international work if you want, but it's a lot easier to stay within the States because the protocols change too much. But a lot of the paramedics that I work with also end up just going, if they want to pursue further healthcare, they go into either nursing or PA school. We actually have a PA who works as an EMT for fun, who's very much more physiologically competent than the rest of us. But yeah, I think there's certainly a lot of places you can go with it. And right now I'm actually planning to do some wilderness training, and I really like the technical rescue part of it.